Welcome back to some more DBD news. My name is Wolfyowns, and today we have a lot to talk about. This is where we talk about all the new things and changes coming to Dead by Daylight. And the first thing we are going to talk about today in the news is the Decisive strike change and or nerf that is coming. Oh boy, you guys have wanted it. You guys have been saying for so long Decisive strike has to be nerfed. Something has to be done to it. Well, the devs are finally here and are going to show us what they're going to do to Decisive Strike. So, without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right into it.
Exactly. So, now I'd like to go into a more controversial change, perhaps, or perhaps the stream title, Decisive Strike. So as you see, Myers is picking up our boy here. We're going to get a gigantic skill check, which I wanted to warn you for.
Oh my god, I missed it.
But you did it on purpose.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Of course. So,
Totally on purpose.
What was that skill check?
What
or
was
that,
that, right?
honestly?
Or that. Hey guys. That was a crazy skill check.
What in the hell was that? What? What? Are you kidding me, devs? Are you serious? Did you guys see that? What in the hell is that? What is that? They are going to make Decisive Strike skill check much bigger, about 100 times bigger, and oh my god, this was the change that everybody wanted, wasn't it? This is the change that everybody wanted. Decisive Strike is getting buffed. Woo, baby. I just don't even know how to play this game. I don't even see what it is. Survivor mains. Survivor mains, that's it. That's what they must be. Survivor mains, they don't even play killer. There's clearly no other words that can explain it. But maybe if we watch the rest of the clip, maybe, just maybe, there might be an explanation. I don't know. How about let's watch the rest of the clip and talk about it afterwards.
So the idea is, well, first of all, can we hit it? I want to hit it here.
Well,
we're going to show it again. It's a giant skill check. This
can
is
you not hit it?
There we go.
That's the question
Oh, no,
I'm asking.
You can let it go by.
Yeah, but I mean, with that skill check, like, is there a way that you're not gonna hit it if you want to? Because it's like
Exactly.
so large.
That is not the decision. Right?
Okay.
Your decision actually is when do you want to use Decisive Strike, and this is what I wanted to basically try to figure out and see how players explore the change that we've done to Decisive Strike. At the moment,
Can anybody notice what the change was?
yeah, there is something different, and
It's not actually about the skill check.
It's not about the skill check. It's actually related to the portrait. If you look at the portrait in the bottom left, he is now not able to be healed to full. This is not no mither. This is just the component of not being able to heal to full.
So you don't have all the positive side of no miter.
No, you don't have.
So you're
you're
still
not
bleeding.
quieter, you're still bleeding. You have all the other components.
You don't recover fast.
Of injured.
There's nothing.
There's nothing. You just can't heal back to
You
full.
can't go back to full.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Now, this might not be enough, right? Decisive Strike can still be used at the very end of the game, potentially for an escape. The idea of making the giant skill check zone was to see if it would be as frustrating to killers as it was prior to its use, to its change.
So you're telling me also that everybody is gonna have the DS like the obsession. Like
Yes.
if there's 4 people running it,
Everyone
they
would
all
have the same
have
thing.
that huge skill check and choose whenever they wanna try it, use it.
Now, mind you, yes, please.
So, yeah, so the things that are in progress here are the very large skill check is essentially a stand-in for a button.
Yes.
Oh.
So
Okay.
I think that's what we were trying to get at was a very, very large skill check is basically just hit it or choose not to hit it. So in other words, it's like a button activation, but we don't have that ready at the moment. So it's like, is it something that needs to have the skill check component? And then the other thing was, do we really want to have different behavior for obsession and non-obsession? So
Well-
I've heard players come to me and say, oh, the non-obsession Decisive Strike is even more oppressive
Yep.
because of how much time is wasted for a carry that then gets interrupted. So we're looking at that. So like right now we're testing a version where essentially you can activate it whenever you want. That's what the skill check represents, or rather, you don't have to hit a very hard skill check to get it. And the obsession, non-obsession are similar. and it leaves you broken. So that's what's currently being tested.
Yeah.
And so if you're running DS with Adrenaline or Self-Care now, it's
so
kind
good.
of a nerf to those two perks too.
bit
If
of
you
a-
wanna, if you wanna,
A bit of a non-bow, really.
yeah.
Okay, so basically Decisive Strike is going to have a really big skill check, or in other words, it's going to be just a button where you just hit one button and then it's going to activate. Kind of like Dead Hard, how with Dead Hard you just hit E and then Dead Hard works when you're injured, of course. So that's pretty much how Decisive Strike is going to be. I don't really know how I feel about that. I don't really like that. I kind of like people trying to hit it on their, or like trying to hit skill check as a challenge. I actually like that a lot more, in my opinion, because then it's a little more skillful. It's not a whole lot skillful because it's kind of easy to hit skill checks, but it did take a little bit more concentrating than just sitting there and hitting a button just one time or spamming it. However, I do like that Decisive Strike makes it to where for the rest of the game, if you use it, you are permanently injured and you can never go to full health. So basically, Adrenaline's useless, Self-Care is useless, Insta-Meds are useless, everything is useless that would heal you, and you are forever injured with no benefits. I like that, but let me know how you guys feel about it down in the comment section down below. So now moving on to the next part of the dev stream, we are going to be talking about props and why you should start giving props from now on.
What's the point of the command give props at the end of the game?
Oh.
Right now it seems to do nothing. Well, we're bringing back the props of the weeks. And basically we want to maybe try it. Like, I don't want to promise anything, but try to do some kind of activity or rewards around that. Either it's in game or at the end of the year, whoever has the most prop, you know, get something. We don't know yet, but of course we want to use them. That's for sure.
Very cool. Yeah.
Sick answer, bro.
Yeah.
I really like this idea because basically you reward players for doing more to the game and giving them props. So at the end of the year or the month, you can get more blood points or cosmetic. I really like this idea. I think it's really awesome, and I look forward to it. Now, moving on to the next part of the dev stream, we're going to be talking about killer buffs and a buff for the Trapper.
Do you think Trapper could ever get a buff where disarming his traps require a skill check, and if they fail, then they get stuck in a trap, since disarming traps is a skillful action, like fixing gens and healing, and according to the loading screen tip. So
This has been something that I've definitely considered. There's been plenty of people on the team that have suggested this, including like Walker himself.
Yep.
It's like, why don't the traps injure you when you fail the skill check? And I'm like, yeah, it's something that we can do. You had something to say about it as well, in particular.
Well, I mean, I think Trappy Boy deserves a few buffs.
Oh yes.
Something that I was thinking about was how the time efficiency for setting traps is not very good right now.
Oh, yeah.
Partly because it takes a long time to set a trap, but not only that, I think the major culprit is actually how fast it is to disarm a trap. Since it's so fast for Survivor to do it, the Trapper doesn't gain much time by setting traps in places because the Survivors can go and poke them pretty quickly. I personally think maybe an increase in the base amount of time to disarm would be interesting. Plus, we've got all kinds of cool add-on ideas.
Oh, yeah.
We don't know when the add-on passes are going to happen, but we've definitely cooked up a lot of interesting ones for Trapper especially, because he was our first killer, and we didn't have a lot of experience with the game as it's played these days back then. So the add-ons came from a different mentality of design and are focused on a lot of things that we are not so concerned about on add-ons anymore, and probably he would have a much different add-on set were we making him today.
I had an idea for one of the Trapper traps. Do you want to just tease an idea, work in
it's,
progress?
It's so
not
mean
true?
because we have no idea when or if this would
That's
happen.
fine.
But
I like the idea
thank
to
you.
be the conversation.
Just earlier
Yeah,
we were
thank
talking
you.
about, wouldn't it be cool if, and that's such a dangerous sentence because, you know, anyway, wouldn't it be cool if Trapper had an add-on that every 20 seconds would activate one of his traps, similar to how the Doctor every 20 seconds has that add-on that creates a phantasmal palette?
I think it's really cool.
it would just open them
Yeah.
Yep.
from like wherever they
it
are on
happens
the
to be,
ground.
it picks one and just opens it.
That's actually really awesome.
That was my suggestion for an ultra rare trap.
So we have tons of ideas. We just need to, get around to addressing everything. and
Ideas
then-
aren't
You're
the
gonna have to
problem. We're
watch your
pretty rich in
stats.
ideas.
Yeah.
Woo! I love love what I'm hearing right now. So basically the Trapper might be getting buffed in the future, and I am looking forward to this. I want this so bad because Trapper is really slow right now. He's not the worst killer in the game like some killers, but he is definitely really slow, and you can't use all of his traps to effectiveness, sadly, because the games right now just go way too fast. So I really like this idea. I want it. I love the Trapper, and I can't wait for this buff. Now I also want the add-on as well, because I think that add-on sounds amazing, and I want that add-on so bad. Moving on to the next part of the dev stream, we are going to be talking about Bloodlust. You know it, you love it, you can't get those pallet looping survivors without it. We are going to be talking about the changes coming to Bloodlust.
If you like, I'm going to start talking about our first change, or our first idea for the change. Bjorn, if you wouldn't mind, of course, this is all a work in progress, so I would like to see the lovely banner. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. All right, so first thing is Bloodlust. We're not going to show you anything in game. It's just to keep you guys entertained, of course. So Bloodlust itself, at the moment, we are changing the timing at which you're going to be getting it, and the speed increases that you are achieving during these time periods. Now, you might ask why. Why are we doing these changes?
Why are we doing that?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked, Louis.
Thank you.
Well, we're doing these changes because right now there seems to be a misconception as to how Bloodlust should be effective in Dead by Daylight, where a lot of people believe that Bloodlust 3 is supposed to achieve hits on any window, and basically break down any infinite, right?
Okay.
Or any pallet. Even if a pallet is completely safe, you can Bloodlust 3 and you can get to the guy.
Right.
This leads to people being very inefficient with their time, as it leads to chases that are upwards of 45 seconds for one hit, which is usually very detrimental to the killers, which I believe, and I might be wrong, this is just testing it out, that players might be basically enticed to use it in the wrong way, and they're hurting themselves to a certain extent.
Yeah.
I would like to explore an idea of having a lower speed and lower speed increments, but at a quicker rate.
Right.
To see if players can use it in a different way. So the different way that you'd be using it is at longer chases that are not broken, that are not, I guess, delayed from increasing. They should be ended a little quicker.
So in other words, it's gonna change the pace of the chase a bit more, but it's not going to be the dramatic change that it currently is.
Is it going to change perks that are related to it also? Like to the timer?
I think we only have one that's
it would be
Beast of Prey.
Yeah.
I guess this is an indirect Beast of Prey buff.
This is an indirect Beast of Prey buff as well.
Fair enough.
I was
Can
also
we have
looking
it on an activate?
to potentially put it on an activate as well.
That would be better.
Which is definitely something that's been asked for quite often. So this is something that we'd like to do.
All right.
So just to say something about the Bloodlust, I would love to get feedback on all of these ideas, of course. These are works in progress, as I mentioned. And Bloodlust would be in the PTB to test out for you as well. So look for it when it comes out.
Oh boy! So basically what they're saying here is that Bloodlust is going to be changed. I don't really want to call it a nerf, because I don't know if I want to call it a nerf yet. I don't know yet. But it's going to be changed to where you can get stacks of Bloodlust quicker, so you'll be able to catch that survivor much faster and much sooner. But the speed is being reduced, so you will get the stacks quicker for Bloodlust, but your speed for those stacks are going to be reduced. So it's kind of a change because you get it faster, but you're a little bit slower. How before it takes longer to get it, but you're faster. So it's kind of just a change. It's not really a nerf or anything, but we will not know until it actually comes out in the game. Now, moving on to the next part of the dev stream, we are going to be talking about the much wanted, the much desired, the much beloved hatch standoff, and what the devs are going to do about it. So let's go ahead and watch this amazing clip and see what the devs have in store for hatch standoff.
It's true. You need to have another. It's okay. So would you mind showing the lovely hatch close mechanic? You got Myers over here. Once the hatch is now opened, we have the ability to close the hatch. Can you show Mr. Myers here in his glory?
All right.
And Andre, if you can slam that hatch.
Holy heck.
Timing. Such timing. Yes. So what's interesting about this is this is the hatch close mechanic. It's very simple at the moment. The idea is that if the killer finds it first, they can close the hatch. If the survivor finds it first, they can get in the hatch. If the killer and the survivor get there at the same time, the killer can close the hatch.
But what do I do if I'm stuck and the hatch is closed?
Well, okay, at this point in the game, he can go and open up the exits because the generators are done, right?
Right.
What you can do if there are generators remaining is you can try to complete a generator and it will reopen the hatch, giving you a moment of respite. This may not be enough.
So if you complete one generator
Yes.
and the killer is right next to the hatch and just close it back, you have to finish up all the generators
Exactly. Now,
by yourself.
yes. Now,
Okay.
there's certain ideas that are floating around. Maybe you get a ridiculous speed boost to completing generators at this point, as it's basically a game of trying to complete the generators and get to the hatch and try to get out or get to those exit gates. These are ideas that we're thinking about at the moment, which is why the hatch gameplay probably won't come out in June and would come out at a later time, but it would be in the PTB coming up to get more feedback from you guys to know if this is still frustrating at this point in the end game. We want to know if you guys will be down to try to escape, and if it's too overwhelming, we'd love to know before we do something like this.
Okay, can we show the really fast generator completion?
He already did it.
Unfortunately, I
You
forgot.
did
I
it?
forgot that I was going to pop all the generators when I did the last generator.
Yeah,
so,
but you couldn't have done it anyways because you're only one survivor in the game.
Yeah.
So, and there's one more
Wait,
thing.
Okay, I just gotta make sure that I. Okay, good. There's
Guys,
stuff in the tally I don't want to show.
yeah, I just want to answer out a lot of people giving feedback as it's already in the game. It is not already in the game. This is a work in progress. This is design, exchanging ideas, trying to figure out a way to, to fix an issue in the game.
Yeah.
Right? The end game, the hatch play.
The end game stalemate, which is basically two people staring at each other and no one wanting to do a move because as soon as one commits to a move, the other can immediately cancel them out. The window of opportunity is quite large, so you can get punished really quickly.
Woo! They are doing it. So basically, when the hatch standoff comes up, the killer, if he's at the hatch, he'll be able to close it and lock the hatch for sure. And in order for the survivor to open it, they have to complete a generator. I don't really know how I feel about that, because what happens when the hatch is right next to the last 3 generators? I don't really know how I feel about that. I like the key idea a bit more, or maybe a mixture of both of them at the same time could work out. I don't know. I feel like one side should win or the other, but this does mean the killer can definitely close the hatch, and it is coming, and I cannot wait. I'm excited for it. Woo! Now, moving on to the next part of the dev stream, we are going to be talking about Dead Hard, the good old beloved Dead Hard, and the change that is coming to Dead Hard.
Cheat.
Something about this Dwight looks familiar.
Okay.
What do you mean?
Here we go.
I don't know. What do you mean? What do you think?
It must be a shirt.
Okay,
I think it's definitely the shirt.
So
It's
what
a
are
shirt.
we showing right now?
We're gonna show a little Dead Hard animation.
Oh,
Bam.
okay.
Yes. So the idea is that it was not.
I'm really good at Dead Hard.
It was not very readable, because the character would just jerk forward, and this resulted in what
So-
people believed might have been lag
Sometimes,
switching.
is it a lag? Did I miss my hit? Was that hard? You
Yeah.
know?
Exactly.
I also want to point out that Myers is very slowly approaching me, and there's a reason for that. We adjusted the range that you can pick up survivors.
That's
because
true.
We've heard complaints about vacuum pickups, so this is an attempt.
So right now he's spamming space.
He's spamming space right now to
Here.
see how close.
It's like that. This
Yeah.
is what he's doing.
So
He's pretty close. He's stepping on my feet.
you're saying we are fixing vacuum pallets and the vacuum pickup.
I think we are.
Okay, and what about the hooking?
What about the hooking?
Well, the
Well, that's
little,
the next
the little
step.
slide.
You have
The slide to the hook?
The electric slide on the hook.
Do we have anything on this one?
I don't know.
Not yet, but this is something that we'd also like to look into. So, these are the active things that are coming to the PTB. I hope you guys enjoyed we enjoyed this. I think I enjoyed this. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this as well. We'd love to hear your feedback on the several points that we've put out today.
So not a huge change coming to Dead Hard, but basically it is getting a brand new animation and you know, the old animation, it was kind of just like you darted forward and you couldn't really tell, like they said, if the person was using dead hard or if it was lag or what, or if like they had lag 3 times. You're like, is that dead hard 3 times? I don't really know. So basically, now dead hard has its own animation, so you will be able to know the difference between a survivor lagging and a survivor using dead hard, because it's kind of look like the animation kind of looks like a football tackle or something. That would be still really cool to like see someone do that into a killer. They just boom hit them, but I know it's not gonna really do anything to the killer. But still, it looks pretty cool. You know, I like new animations. I like new things to the game, and I'm really excited about that. And that is going to be it for the news today. Do go down into the comment section below and let me know. Are you excited about these changes? Do you dislike these changes? Do you want the Decisive Strike change? Do you want the Bloodlust change? The Dead Hard change? The new animation? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Do let me know down in the comment section down below, because I love reading your guys' opinions. I love hearing them and seeing what you guys have to say and how you guys feel about all of this. But like I said, that is going to be it for the news today. But later tonight at 10 o'clock news, do the fans really enjoy these changes?
Palette animation change and the hatch standoff have been a huge hit with the community, which is freaking amazing, because showing work in progress is also opening a lot of discussion with the community. And this is also why we're sitting here again this week, to show you other work in progress we're doing.